Hey beautifuls, I have an important energy update message. It has to do with the Milky Way, it has to do with the stars, it has to do with the galaxies, I guess, and it has to do with why certain people are feeling a certain way at the moment. I've been back to back with clients today, and I'm doing this in between clients, so I'm going to keep this really brief. But I felt it was really important to share because I feel like almost every client I'm like sharing this with, I'm like, okay, this is an important message. I need to share this with the world. So bear with me while I send this out into the world, while I share this live stream. And I just want to share this little thing, and I'm going to draw a little diagram because it's really, I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense, and it's almost like, wow, it's mind-blowing. It puts everything into perspective. It does make you sort of, I want to say, question things in a way that it's just not, it's much bigger than us, you know? All right, so let me just concentrate and share this. Hang on a second. Share to a group. And I'll just share it to one more place. Yes, it is Independence Day in America. It makes me question what was going on in Independence Day in America. All the way back then when it was claimed and titled by who. Probably a conversation for a different live stream, but you know. Let me just share one more place. Okay. All right, so coming back to this now. All right, so this really important energy update message in between clients. I know I shared about it on my big live stream I did the other day, but I just wanted to put this little section, this really important piece in this little live stream for you. So basically, I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday night. So it's now Tuesday. So about a week ago, I'm in Queensland, Australia, and I live out in the country. And so the stars are very clear when there's no clouds, and sometimes the stars are clearer on certain days, you know, certain nights and whatever. Anyway, so I went out to the car, came back in, and I always look at the stars because I love the stars, right? And I grew up with my dad teaching me about the stars and all sorts of things. So with the stars, as I'm in Australia, I see the Milky Way, right? Like we see lots of stars, but the Milky Way is, you know, what I sort of look at the most, if you may. And of course, being out here, I always just look at the stars. I always stop and take a moment to look at the stars. With the Milky Way, like some of you might know, right? And I'm no astronomer or whatever, but you know, this is a basic understanding of what's going on, okay? So basically, the Milky Way is like all these stars, yes? There's like heaps and heaps of stars. Of course, there's stars out here, but here there's heaps, right? And there's sort of like this band of stars. Everybody probably knows that. They're like, uh-huh. Okay. When I was walking back from the car to my home, from the sheds, and I looked up, like, honestly, it was like these two like wisps, like my drawing's not the best, but if the Milky Way was like wisping out, like there was these two wisps of like, they were just out there like that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I've looked at the stars since I was a kid. I know what the Milky Way looks like. I know the Magellan clouds on the other end of the Milky Way. This is on the Magellan clouds are usually down here. And I was like, what is that? I haven't seen anything about this. Nobody's spoken about this. Is it still there? I don't know. It's been raining here, so I don't know. When there's a clear sky, I'm going to go out and look at nighttime and see if the wisps, the two big wisps are there. Now, they were huge. Like if you think of the Milky Way in the sky, to be able to see two big wisps or two waves off the Milky Way that you can see with your bare naked eyes, it's massive. The reason I'm sharing this is because if you followed me for a while, you would have heard me talk about over the years. So, you know, when I do energy updates and stuff, and I see sort of people on like two waves of consciousness, if you may, to make it easy to understand. Like when people are up, like and happy and everything's good, there's another group that's down. And then when I see it flick, and then when these people come up, these people that are usually up or down, and it's sort of like this wave, and it's sort of like, you know, there's two groups that I just notice. Like, you know, I speak in contact with a lot of people in the world, right? So it's like I see these two waves of people, and I've seen it for years. Right now, the people who are usually on opposite waves are very down in going through like the hardest time and like of their life in many different ways in their own right. And then at the same time, these people are like, but hang on, there's this good stuff going on too, but oh my God, there's this. And it's like, but this stuff is like happening and moving forward and it's good, but there's this really hard stuff, right? And I've noticed that probably for about the last maybe 6 months, I've seen these people with like the hard stuff, but all this expansion. And then after seeing this last week with the stars and these wisps coming out, if you may, I was like, in myself, I'm like, this has got something to do with the opposite people, if you may, of the, I don't know, like of where this bandwidth of people are now. So instead of being opposite and we're both like traveling it together, if you may. So the point that I wanted to share that for is what I, like when I was just talking to my clients then, and like I said, I've come in between clients because it's important that I share this because I kept saying the same thing. And obviously it's a message for everyone because I know it's not just me and my clients, it's a lot of people experiencing this right now. And as my client was talking, I saw, you know, all of this. And what I got the message of is it's like, I don't personally know if it's got anything to do with this, but what I saw is like, if this was actually breaking away and separating and becoming its own like thing, right? There's like the people of us that are feeling like the worst and the expansion at the same time when we're usually on opposites, if you may. It's like we've broken away and we're creating our own universe or something. Like I know this is what I'm seeing up in the stars, so it doesn't really make logical sense what I'm explaining, but that's the sense that I could feel. And it kind of makes a lot of sense ultimately. Now, on another scale, when you really consider that seeing with the bare naked eye in the sky, the stars and the Milky Way has got these wisps on it. Like I said, this was last Wednesday, Thursday night, Queensland, Australian time. It's now the 5th of July. You know, like it's been raining here. So when it stops raining and it's clear skies at the end of the week, I'm going to go and have a look, of course. I've looked at the Milky Way since I was a kid, like it's noticeable, okay? And it's like if, when you really consider that and you look at, say, government control and all the CERN and all the shit, when we really consider what's going on, we're like, it's much bigger than us. Like we know that, but it's like, hey, confirmation, it's much bigger than us. It's much bigger than them. It's way beyond our control. It's way beyond worth worrying about and more just focusing on what we're being called to do, right? For our purpose, blah, blah, blah. Because when you consider what's going on, it's beyond us. It's beyond them. And we know why they're doing it because like it's beyond them, okay? So you can sort of like, you know, I want to say relax or breathe out or just be like, okay. It doesn't make it any easier what you're going through in your life, but it kind of does because you actually see how big it is, okay? So I just really wanted to share that because, you know, in, was it December 2020? I think it might have been, correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, in December 2020, I think it was, and there was a big thing going around of like Earth separating in two, right? And there was all these graphics going around of like Earth is splitting in two. I personally feel it's something like this, and I'm getting covered in goosebumps as I say that. Like maybe literally like our solar system is splitting, if that's even a possibility. Like I know what I'm saying doesn't make logical sense, but this is just intuitively what's been coming through with it. And I just wanted to share that and drop that message in so that you guys know. I don't know, like I said, I've been talking about it with clients and it makes sense without making logical sense, but it's way bigger than us and something is actually happening when we consider the platinum sky sunsets and the red sunsets and all the stuff that is going on. So Greg says, one of those stars, let me just check this comment here. One of those wave shapes is near the tail of the unicorn and close to the fixed star Paracon. Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, it's like, it wasn't just a tail. Like, if there was like literally like a wisp of the whole Milky Way, like it looked white, like, you know how the Milky Way sort of looks white. It's like, it was white and white. It wasn't just like a line of stars. It was like a whole wisp of it, you know? So, yeah. So just wanted to let you guys know that. There is a lot of forgiveness going on as well. I see your message there, your comment, Kelly. It's about forgiveness for myself and others who have wronged me. So yeah, it's definitely that, right? There's definitely a lot of like coming back to self. There's a lot of reconnection happening. It's interesting in a separation. I don't know. I'm sure there will be more to come, but I just wanted to share this update. Came through really strongly. Let me know if it resonates. If you've got questions, comment them below, and I'll see you soon. Love you guys.